5:30, one of the state's top high school quarterbacks is suing North Carolina over its name, image, and likeness restrictions for public school athletes. The complaint was filed by Rolanda Brandon on behalf of her son, Faison Brandon, who is ranked as the #1 prospect in the nation. The complaint alleges that the State Board of Education exceeded its authority under state law to regulate the use of NIL by instead prohibiting it altogether. Brandon says the policy stopped him from making money after being approached by NIL sponsors. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now. So Khalif, this has been a big talker for years. The North Carolina High School Athletic Association, they approved a policy last year, but state lawmakers stopped it, correct?
Well, it's kind of yes and no. State lawmakers gave authorization to the State Board of Education to come up with rules, to regulate is what the lawsuit says. And in turn, once they regulated it, so if you take it back a couple steps, private schools right now have access to it. The North Carolina High School Association decided to go ahead and try to figure out how they can bring them to equal playing fields. And so they okayed it for a short period of time for public schools. Then this bill passes where they gave the State Board of Education the ability to make rulemaking authority. And then what did that same agency that just approved it? They went back and said, you know what? We're going to deny it and now allow public school students not to have the opportunity to do that. And so now they're waiting for a full rulemaking ability. They want to have people to give comments. But during this process, students like this individual doesn't have the opportunity to earn money if he's a public school student. And that's extremely problematic. And the lawsuit lays out a couple of reasons as to why. Specifically that the General Assembly didn't give you authorization to make it not happen. They gave you authorization to regulate it. So they're saying that you didn't read the rules properly. You didn't read the statute properly. And they're asking a court for declaratory judgment, basically to tell them you didn't even have authority to do what you did.
Right. They wanted to clarify the policy, not to strike it back down. Do you think we would even see this? You mentioned private schools. They're obviously not governed by the same body as public schools, but do you think we would even see this lawsuit if there wasn't that difference between private and public being allowed to do NIL?
They list that as a reason and a rationale for how it's inconsistent. They're saying, well, this is super inconsistent because you have a private student that lives in the same state, that plays the same sport, that has access to monetize their name, image, and likeness, but a public school student doesn't. And so that is one of their rationales as to why it doesn't make sense and is inconsistent. And to your original question, why the state actually seems like they want to have NIL likenesses for students, and this board just went way outside the scope, and instead of regulating, they just eliminated it completely, which doesn't make any sense.
So going back to the states, there are only 38 states that allow high school athletes to use their name, image, and likeness to profit, but North Carolina, not one of them. Why do you think that's the case?
I just think it's a misreading of the statute. When I read the statute, I think I agree with this lawsuit that it was clearly giving you authority. Specifically, Section 17 gives them authority to regulate name, image, and likeness. And it says to come up with rules. It doesn't say to eliminate it. But if you quickly look at this lawsuit, the last thing is they're asking for an injunction. An injunction specifically, you have to do a couple things. Likelihood of success on the merit. I think that's there. Irreparable harm, meaning money can't fix this, right? And so because it's a contract, because you're missing out on millions of dollars, typically money wouldn't be able to fix this. You'd be able to just go back and get them to pay that. However, you can't get the State Board of Education to pay anything because they're immune. I think they will succeed on this, and there will be an injunction granted because he's likely to succeed, and they can't get money damages from the state.
And this athlete, I mean, this is.
We're not talking about an everyday athlete.
Exactly. So for all the high school students out there watching, thinking they're going to make a ton of money, it's not the case. But this is a top recruit.
He had multiple deals, and they put him in the complaint. So, yeah.
Thanks for breaking that down for us, Khalif. Appreciate it.